I hope everyone had a blessed Shivaratri. I know I did. I went to the Kali ashram, which is the same ashram I also got initiated into Dakshina Kali Tantra. And I was there for about 6 hours. I helped out with a bit of stuff. I was there doing the Abhisheka multiple times. Beautiful experience, powerful experience, especially when everyone is there in the room. You start feeling the energy of everyone around you. But it also got me to thinking about this video, about an important question that I think that is said a lot, and I see it very often online and different commentators like Rajeshi Nandi. How do you find your Ishta Devata? How do you find your guru? I think these are very important questions, and I think there needs to be some level of practicality, some level of measured, protected ability to do these things and make sure that you're doing it in a clean way. My Ishta is obviously Kali, Ma Kali herself. A little bit of background on myself. I grew up Arya Samaj, which is the formless deity, Ishwara. Uh, I did not grow up with any god with form, none of the Puranic understandings. I hardly even know who Lord Shiva was. So didn't grow up with any of that. And now I ended up what I ended up doing this tantric Mahakali, the form, the Vigraha, washing the Murti that I have at home, all those other things. Quite a departure. So, how did I get from Arya Samaj growing up unconditioned in this tradition to being in that tradition? Um, I'm going to answer that question through this video, through telling people how to find an Ishtadevata, how to find a guru. So, without further ado, what even is an Ishtadevata? The chosen deity, the preferred deity, one that matches the adhara, the build of you. This doesn't really come from the Vedas themselves. Closest that you'll find is from the Rig Vedam. The real is one. Sages speak of it in many ways. An individual can pick and choose the door to enter through to essentially reach the same place. You will find the word Ishtadevata classically in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Svadhyayad Ishtadevata Samprayoga essentially means a deity with whom one attains samprayoga, a connection or some type of communion. And the pathway named is Svadhyaya, which is essentially the repetition or the study of the deity literally being the mantra itself. So, mantra japa, doing different shlokas, doing different pujas, all those different things, havan, etc. How does one find it, Ishtadevata is very elusive past this point. It's all on you. It's all on you to find it. Basically, the question comes from, well, people feel stuck in this type of way. How do you find your Ishtadevata? If I ask you, what's your favorite color? And you say, I don't know, blue. If I say, how do you find your favorite color? That's kind of a ridiculous question. The favoritism, that thing that you cannot explain, comes from inside you, comes from somewhere deep in you. The body and the mind is an instrument. And if the body and the mind is not calibrated like a proper instrument ought to be to get specific results, then how can you find something particular like an Ishtadevata? An Ishtadevata can only be found by the individual that has inquired deeply within themselves, not to the person who constantly looks to other particular things and hopes and prays that those other particularities lead them in the right direction. Very rare that that actually happens. That, oh, you constantly pray to Lord Shiva, constantly, even though Lord Shiva maybe isn't your Ishtadevata. You just see him as supreme and respected, but to find that thing that clicks like something else that you know for sure, constantly looking at that particularity is not going to necessarily help you. What I found to be most revealing is going back to basics, is going back to this understanding of meditation, going back to the basics of yoga, doing things like pranayamas, nadi shuddhi, alternate nostril breathing, um, the fire breath, the belly breathing breath, where you fantastic, calming levelers of the mind before going deep within yourself. And that is classically closing your eyes and focusing on a singular point. This is so understated. I think people are constantly looking for that magic, that pill that exists out there that is so elaborate, so amazing. But the truth is that there needs to be a level of patience when looking at the void within you. That void within you probably maybe has something, but you can only know it has something if you try to look within yourself. The advocacy is to be patient, to work a bit hard and diligently to find what is within you, because all this exists within you. All of this particularity can only exist because of that which witnesses all of it. And this body and this mind is a particular tool. And through this whole universe, filtered to this particular lens, which is the body and the mind, that's when you find your Ishta Devata, when everything is properly calibrated, because the process of calibration is the meditation, is the singular focus on an object. Trataka meditation is absolutely amazing. It is candle gazing meditation. It is, if the top of the pen is like a flame, you're looking at the flame from about here, I would say, and you're staring at the flame. You're, without moving your eyes, focusing on different places on the flame, the little void at the wick center, the very light and bright, luminous outside, and then the different colors of blue going into red to the bright yellows. You're doing all these different things without moving the eyes, and you'll slowly start to lose peripheral vision as the eye starts to lose essentially fuel and energy in focusing on a singular thing. And when you feel comfortable, close your eyes and you will still see the light. If you look at anything bright for too long and then close your eyes, you'll see like maybe like spots or lights or whatever. When you look at a candle for a long enough in a dark room and you close your eyes, you'll see that flame. You'll see a type of light. It might not look like an exact flame for some, maybe others, but you'll see something. And focus on that point. Focus on that. Think of nothing else and look at that. Follow it, don't follow it, whatever your gut tells you to do that. That's an amazing practice. I cannot state that enough. It's such a beautiful thing. Yeah, Ishta Devata is something within you. It's not something out there. Calibrate the body, calibrate the mind, and no rush for any of this. No rush for any of this. Now let's move on to finding a guru. And I know what you mean. I'm not talking about, oh, the guru's inside of you and you don't need anyone else. Oh, like the greatest teacher is the teacher within you. I know what you mean. We all know what you're trying to say. There's a guy out there that can give you diksha, that can give you a mantra and teach you all this great stuff and give you a path. Where do I find this person? All that other stuff. First of all, getting diksha, I don't think is that hard nowadays. I think getting a quality guru in diksha is a lot harder, and that's where it is actually most important, and it's where it's not worth getting any diksha from just anyone, and you might as well just wait it out or don't take diksha at all. It's not worth it going out and just hunting for gurus all day. Because essentially what you are trying to do is that you are taking up a parampara. You're taking up a lineage. Now, the main issue with a lot of people is that they believe, oh, my guru told me this. Oh, that means that this is ultimately true and I have to tell everybody. I have to babble my mouth on and on in front of a camera and tell everybody exactly what my guru said because my guru is ultimately right. Sure, have that fervor within you for yourself. But what is essentially the Diksha? Essentially, a snowball is from a very, very long time ago. If the Diksha is great and the Parampara is powerful, from a very, very long time ago, some person, a guru, made a little snowball and he rolled it down a mountain of snow. And over time, that snow accumulated, got bigger and bigger and bigger. When it came down to the next person, when the snowball was losing momentum and it was time for the next person to take up the snowball, there was time for them to push the snowball down the mountain. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then guess what? Here you are. Oh, you've gotten lucky. You struck gold. You found a very competent, powerful guru with a lineage, and you can tell where the lineage comes from because you see the top of the mountain. Now you got the snowball. And then you roll it down the hill. Now it's not the snow itself. It's not the information itself. The handing down of information that got more stronger over time. That's how the Shakti accumulated. That's how the power accumulated. Not the particular information, not the particular snow within the snowball, but rather that the accumulation over time passed down. That's where the power is. Not the information itself, but the passing down of that information. Finding the parampara, right, that is respected. Usually you find this in ashrams where there's the pundit there and you can see clearly that they're very proud of their lineage, they're very proud of their teachers. They should be very reverent to their gurus because, at least in Tantra, the guru is equivalent to that of the deity. And that should be very obvious. They should be very proud of their lineage in some capacity. And going to different ashrams and asking questions is the best way to do it and to form a community around that. I don't know why people are shy to ask people questions, to ask pundits questions. I had a friend come to me and say, he's from Nepal, and they do things a bit different, and they're wondering, well, like, if who do we go to learn these things? What do we do for these things? And explaining these different things, I'm confused of where to look. Going up and talking to the pundit is a great idea. Maybe there's an intimidation there. Maybe there is some like, oh, maybe I don't want to ask this. I don't want to bother them. I want to look online. I want to do this. I want to do that. No, they're perfectly happy to answer your questions, unless they're not. If they're not, then just go somewhere else. Plenty of pundits, plenty of gurus, plenty of learned people love to share information, love to give and provide for the future. They are servers of the community. They first, and that is reflected in their ability to perform those rites and to serve the god or goddess. Everybody's karma is different. Everybody's where you're born, what is happening in your life at the time and place of everything is not random. Don't be like, oh, it's a shame. I want the guru so bad. I want one so bad. When the worst thing you could do is get a bad guru. And that's very easy to do. Much better to learn very powerful things that are safe to do online without a guru than to take up a diksha from someone with a lagu bagu lineage. Lagu bagu meaning bad. The most important thing out of all these questions is that you are healthy, that your mind and body are calibrated instruments for that which is the trueness of yourself. and that is the Atma. That is the formless, that which is beyond and will carry on beyond this limited temporary identity. But this but that which is eternal sits inside this machine, and this machine needs to be in tip-top condition. You got to be healthy, you got to be strong, you have to be focused, you got to be accomplished in this world. Artha kama dharma moksha. Always have those things in balance, and I promise that everything will come in time. In time. This is the Hindu conceptualist signing out.